Hello, I'm Wesley Lee, and I'm going to be reading you the story of the Three Little Pigs. This is the new version of the Three Little Pigs. Here's the book, and if you happen to buy this book, you will sign your name and address and identification information over here. So if you lose the book, somebody can bring it back to you. And this is the first page, The Three Little Pigs. Once there were three little pigs. They set out into the great big forest to look for a nice spot to build homes. Here they are, getting ready to go out into the forest to build their homes. The first little pig gathered up straw to build his house. Swish, swash, swish. Here is the first little pig gathering his straw. The second little pig gathered up sticks to build his house. Plickety, plackety, plick. Here is the second little pig gathering up sticks to build his house. The third little pig gathered up bricks to build his house. Plop, ploppity, cloppity, clop. Here is the third little pig gathering up his bricks to build his house. The first two pigs finished their houses in no time. They said to the third pig, "You're working too hard. Why don't you come play?" But he kept right on building. Clink, clunk, plop, swack. Here he is, continuing to build his brick house. Finally, he was all finished. He relaxed by a warm fire in his safe, strong house. Here he is relaxing by a warm fire in his strong, safe house. One day, a big, bad wolf came to the straw house of the first little pig. He said he could smell a kettle of soup, and it made him very hungry. He said, little pig, let me in." But the first little pig replied, "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." Here is the big bad wolf asking to get into the straw house of the first little pig. So the wolf said, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." With a swoosh and a whoosh, the straw house blew away. The first little pig jumped up and ran all the way to the second little pig's house. Here is the big bad wolf blowing the straw house down, and the little pig is running to the second little pig's house. The next day, the big bad wolf came to the house of the second little pig. He said he could smell a fresh loaf of bread baking in the oven. He said, little pig, let me in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," cried the second little pig. Here is the big bad wolf at the second little pig's house asking to be let in. So the wolf said, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." With a gust of air and a crack and crash, the stick house fell to the ground. Both pigs jumped up and ran all the way to the third little pig's house. Here is the wolf, the big bad wolf, blowing in the second little pig's house, and the first and second little pigs running to the third little pig's house. When the third little pig heard about the wolf, he was glad his brothers were safe. He said, "You must be hungry and tired. Sit down and have some pie." Here is the first and second little pigs coming to the third little pig's house, and they're being invited in to have pie. The big bad wolf came to the third little pig's house and smelled the pie. He said, little pig, let me in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," cried the third little pig. Here he is at the third little pig's house, and the third little pig will not let him in. So the wolf said, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. He puffed and blew with all his might, but the brick house wouldn't fall in. So he gruffed and snuffed and blew again, but the brick house just wouldn't fall. And here's the big bad wolf blowing, trying to blow the brick house down, but it just will not fall. The wolf had never had this happen before. He sat down on an old log and began to cry. Here's the wolf sitting on the old log and crying. The third little pig said, there, Mr. Wolf, you don't have to be so sad. You have a remarkable talent. You can use your talent for better things than blowing down houses. And here's the third little pig telling the wolf to use his talent for better things. I have an idea, the third little pig said. Here is the third little pig telling the wolf he has an idea. Outside the woods, they heard the sounds of children and laughing and playing. It was the local fair, and everyone was going. Here is the fair that everybody's going to. The three little pigs and the big sad wolf, not bad anymore, the big sad wolf, all went down to the fair. Here's a wonderful way to use your talent, said the third little pig. Here they are, going down to the fair, the three little pigs and the big sad wolf. With a huff and a puff, the wolf started blowing up colorful balloons. Shh! You see, he's blowing up balloons instead of blowing down houses. All the children came to see the fun sizes and shapes. The wolf was happy and amazed to have so many new friends. He wasn't bad or sad anymore. He was the big, glad wolf. Here he is, blowing up the colorful balloons, and the children are coming to see it, and they're becoming his friends. While the big, glad wolf huffed and puffed, the first little pig sold straw baskets. The second little pig played the fiddle, and the third little pig sat peacefully under the shade of an oak tree, smiling. Here they are. First little pig selling straw bags, the second little pig playing the fiddle, and the third little pig sitting under the tree, smiling. And this is the end, with the big, glad wolf continuing to blow his balloons. Thank you for letting me read The Three Little Pigs to you. Bye.